I'm a manager of community initiatives, which is part of the Shelter Support and Housing Administration at the City of Toronto. In response to this need for nutritious food in drop-ins, the City of Toronto approached, staff from the City of Toronto approached the Daily Food Bank, and a partnership was developed because there was a recognition that that would be a meaningful way to bring those partners together to provide nutritious food. Toronto Public Health became involved because they were able to determine what is missing in terms of nutritious content in the food, and so they were a valuable player to come to the table to develop what would be nutritious food that would be available for drop-ins. The cooks in the drop-ins needed to be able to provide meals on a very, very limited budget because they were serving maybe 100, 200 people a day with very limited access to food, very limited budgets, and there was recognition, particularly in Toronto by Toronto Public Health, that there may be ways of being able to do that. And Toronto Public Health, or their representative, approached George Brown College culinary program to see if they would want to join the partnership. And so then the next step of the partnership was actually involving George Brown in training the drop-in cooks. And so the chefs got involved in doing that, and that was the next development of the partnership, which was really very, very exciting. Having access to the chefs of George Brown in this beautiful, beautiful facility enabled first for the drop-in cooks and the shelter cooks to really feel that they were making a difference in people's lives, and also just giving them really, really simple tips on how you could make a healthier meal. I think the other thing is that there were issues along the way, real challenges in working out a partnership, because you've got different communication styles, you have different needs. You know, City of Toronto is a large, large organization, so is George Brown. So when you do have disagreements, it's kind of how do we go back and focus on what matters most, which are the people that are impacted by this program, and how do we go back and focus on them. And there was some goodwill for all of the partners to go back to that when there were disagreements or a misunderstanding about how to move forward. The partnership worked because everyone came from with a common goal, really was around the nutritious meals and wanting to do something and give back to the community. The feedback from the people who come for the training is always really, really positive, and the training has grown and morphed into different things based on the need, and I think all of the players and the partners bring very unique and important expertise to the table.
I'm Jeniffer Drummond, and I'm the program manager for the Beyond 330 after school program that's run by the Toronto Foundation for Student Success in coordination with the Toronto District School Board's Model Schools for Inner City. We got involved with the Community Partnership Office at George Brown College right at the very beginning, just talking about this actual Beyond 330 program, so before the programs were started, because one of our components is called the Junior Chef Club, where we have staff teaching the kids how to cook healthy meals as well as preparing the meals for the kids to eat after school. And through the Community Partnership Office and how we were chatting with them, we found out about a grant that was being offered by another department in the Ministry of Health Promotion called the Healthy Communities Office, and told them about this grant and how it could help them create the curriculum for the Junior Chef Club, but also be able to do a whole bunch of other things, which eventually turned into the chef program. So it was fantastic to be part of that right from the kind of very beginning and the thinking of it, and see it grow. a police officer said, if you want to get the kids off the street and you want to keep them safe, teach them how to cook. And then naturally it was like, okay, we teach them how to cook, how are we going to teach them how to cook? And then it went to, okay, we're going to go to George Brown College. Who should we approach at George Brown College? Okay, well, we'll approach the Community Partnership Office. And then that's kind of how we all got involved in regards to trying to actually make what is now Beyond 330 a reality. Get to the point where the kids can actually learn how to cook and be quite effective, so that they can actually take some of those healthy recipes back to their communities, back to their homes, and cook for their parents, but also that it's a skill that they have for their future. A lot. The Community Partnership Office was great. Like, once they got the grant, it was a bigger grant than just the curriculum for the junior chef program. And it was, and Beyond 330, of course, and it involved, Toronto Public Health, it involved drop-in centers, it involved the training at the chef days, and then the curriculum. It worked because the communication was open, the responses were, pretty immediate. It worked because there was a real respect and a real partnership, and not necessarily holding on to, this is my piece of the pie, this is your piece of the pie, this is da-da-da-da. It's like, okay, how can we make it work for everybody? And we're able to do that, so. It's all about giving back to the community, and in particular giving back to the kids, which is what Beyond 330 does, and the Community Partnership Office just created that tool, through the partnerships of the chef program, that makes it just that much more easy and that much more real, and structured, because boy, do you need structure when you're working with kids, and that much more structured, so that the kids can really learn something, and feel like they learned something, and know that they've learned something that they can use for the rest of their lives. And that's gold.